What's up, everybody? Today I took the motorcycle out to San Francisco. It's about 40 minutes from here without traffic, so it's Thanksgiving Day. I figured not much traffic today, so I thought that'd be fun. A couple good and bad things. Number one, the sound just did not work. I spent 3 hours in San Francisco recording all sorts of good stuff, and unfortunately something's wrong with the audio, so I'm just gonna kind of dub over. I know it's not the best, but I'd rather not lose all the video I had. We're starting out here. We're on the Bay Bridge. The Bay Bridge made up the east and west section, and originally built in 1936. I think it took them about 3 years to build it, and it was double-decker. It opened up about 6 months prior to the Golden Gate Bridge opening. So it was double-decker, both sides of the island, connecting Oakland to San Francisco. In 1989, with the earthquake, the east side top deck collapsed onto the bottom deck, and as part of that, they looked at renovating. What could they do? And they ended up building this new section of the bridge. It's no longer double decker on the east side. I don't know, about 2014, it was held the Guinness World Book of Records of the widest bridge. They started building that, I think, in 2002 and finished in 2013, and it cost them some ungodly amount, like $5.6 billion or something like that, to build it. I know it was like 2,500% higher than their original estimates of what they could do to fix the issues. So this is the new section. After you go through the island and the tunnel here, you pop out onto the double deck, and that's the old western section, and after that we'll be in San Francisco. On the double decker here, westbound traffic is on the top deck, eastbound traffic is on the lower deck. I will say, riding into this and on this bridge, it was super windy. This is my first time to really take the highway on the motorcycle. I usually just tool around on the back roads and in the little cities, but yeah, so this was an experience. Wind's blowing pretty hard. Not the greatest time, but I did make it, and I enjoyed it once I got there. So we're exiting off onto Embarcadero. Funny enough, I've probably driven my car into San Francisco a couple times just to go to Cellar Maker to pick some stuff up, but never really driven around San Francisco. The roads are crazy, the people are crazy, and I just don't need to. I've got BART leaves from Dublin here where I live. I can be in San Francisco in about 40 minutes on the train on BART. So transportation in San Francisco is really good. You figure out the bus is pretty easy, walking's pretty easy. So I never drive in. So it was kind of interesting riding my bike in the city. It's actually a little easier, and I will say I think I picked a great day to go because it just was pretty dead here. So that made it a lot nicer with not a lot of traffic. So this is turning on to Embarcadero. It's the main road running north and south on the east side of the peninsula. You can see the double-decker Bay Bridge there. Embarcadero has one of my favorite landmarks of San Francisco, and that's the ferry building. And when we come up here, you'll see the ferry building. It's got a really tall clock tower, and it used to be the only way you could really get onto San Francisco or into San Francisco was by ferry, unless you're driving up from the south. So from coming over from Oakland or coming up from the north, everybody used the ferry. And the ferry building was built in 1898, I believe. There was a wooden structure there before that, but I think the building that you see here in a moment is from 1898. Lots of renovations have been done, but so the ferry building that is just starting to come into view. You can see the clock tower on the very far right. It was built in 1898. It's gone through several different renovations. After the bridges were built in 1936, there was a slowdown on how much traffic on the ferries was. People were coming back and forth on the ferries. So after I think the 1950s, they started renovating it and making it into some office buildings and other uses. And also in the 1950s, the Embarcadero Freeway was built, which was a double-decker road, basically on the road that I'm riding on now. So there was this massive road structure right in front of the ferry building. You couldn't see it. I believe that it cut off pedestrians getting to the other side and be able to walk down the waterfront. So it was a pretty bad deal. I'm sure it was great for traffic, but in 1989, when the earthquake happened, it pretty much devastated the Embarcadero Freeway, from what I understand, and they ended up demolishing it and building what's here today. About that same time, they started renovating the ferry building. They renovated it. And in, I believe, 2003, they opened the ferry building to what it is today. There's about close to 50 different places to eat in there, being little market shops and things. So that's it's a pretty cool little building. You can still take ferries to different places. There's nice dining. There's quick dining. There's lots of things to do in there, and it's a good tourist attraction too. Quite a bit of people still use the ferry. If you come down here between 4 and 6 o'clock, you'll see a line wrapped around the building of people going to or people in line to get on the ferry. They go to several different places around, so still in use. These are all the piers. Pretty famous area. The pier, even to go to Alcatraz, you leave out of this area. There's Pier 15, but Pier 39 is the most famous, and we'll see that in a second. So you'll see a lot of people jogging and riding up and down the waterfront there. The great part, it took me a while to figure out why so many people did it, but there's no stoplights or stop signs or anything. You can just have one long continuous run or ride. Got to dodge a lot of people. This is a very tourist area, so there are a lot of people to dodge, but that's why a lot of people do that. There's a bar right there. I think it's Pier 19 bar. I sat there and watched the Blue Angels one time during the air show. And then another time I met up with crew from the sailing vessel Delos, which is pretty famous sailing yacht on YouTube that they've been sailing around the world for about 10 years now and doing it right. So it's fun to watch them. And I went there and there was a couple of the crew in San Francisco doing a meetup, so I met them there one time. It was a lot of fun. So this is Pier 39 area. Like I said, it's very touristy, lots of restaurants, shops, but it does get a lot of people. It's a neat thing to see, and it's a really fun area if you're a tourist and want to come visit San Francisco. It's on the must-do list. You got the sea lions and all sorts of things in there that you can go check out. So now we're headed into the North Beach area, Little Italy area. There's just full of Italian restaurants and little pubs and things here. It's the area that I came to the most when I first moved here, the whole North Beach area and some of the bars here. This restaurant on the left is Tony's. Tony's is pretty famous. I've actually never eaten pizza there. I've had the pizza by the slice from their little window, but never had the pizza, and sounds like I'm missing out. So yeah, I ran into all sorts of problems trying to get around this area. Wanted to turn left but couldn't turn left, so I had to go right, go around the block 3 times, but I'll catch us back up in a second. So after going around the block 6 times and probably by Tony's about 3 times, I finally figured out how to get down to the Grant and Green Bar, which is one of the I spent a lot of time there when I first moved out here. I used to come down to San Francisco every Friday and Saturday night and hang out a lot at the Grant and Green Bar. I was walking by there one time, saw some guys playing pool, so I went in and started playing pool with them. And that's on the left there. This whole area, pretty lively at night. Lots of little bars, lots of little places to eat. There's a pizza place right here on the right, and Golden Boy Pizza. It's just like a little window pizza by the slice shop. There'll be 30 people standing outside that thing at 2 o'clock in the morning. But several little bars in here I used to hang out at and play pool. Mostly just come down and play pool with people, and good way to meet people. So in front of us is the Transamerica building. It was the tallest building in San Francisco right up till 2018 when the Salesforce Tower took over that, but it was built in 1972, I believe, and headquarters of the Transamerica Corporation. But I've actually gotten to go up at the top of that. There's a big room at the very top that you can look out all sides. Did a couple different work banquets up there. It's a pretty neat little room and really cool building. So one of the good parts about the bike is you can just kind of get through traffic pretty easily. Most of the time. But we're headed into Chinatown. I was trying to find, there's basically kind of 2 streets in Chinatown that one is tourist Chinatown and one is more the locals, where they've got a lot of their shops and things. I think this is right here is the more local one. The tourist one you can always tell because it's got these like lanterns strung across the street. There's a lot of people out doing their shopping, something else was going on. There was just huge lines of people. So Chinatown runs from Broadway Street in the north to Bush Street in the south. That's about 7 blocks long and 3 blocks wide. It's got Powell Street on the west and Kearney Street on the east. So that's what kind of makes up Chinatown. I think Grant Avenue is the more touristy part. I think what I'm on right here is Stockton Street, and that's the street that's more the locals. So this, turning on, you can see the lanterns I was talking about. This is more the tourist portion of Chinatown, and it's on Grant Street. And there's just, this place is just lined with shops, and it's kind of funny. A lot of the shops are just the same stuff over and over and over again, but a lot of people come here, and it stays pretty busy. Again, good part about the motorcycle is you're really never stuck in traffic. Sometimes I don't like to cut through cars, but when it makes sense, it makes things nice. I turned down this street. You can see the old trolley car. They're not old, they still use them. But there's the trolley car rails. The center one is the actually the line that's underneath the road that's moving. And the way those trolley cars work is they have something that basically attaches to that line, and they can grip it, and that pulls them, and then they can let go and brake, and that's how it works. There's just a continuous cable. I guess they're called cable cars. So there's a continuous cable moving underneath the road, and the trolley just grabs a hold of it when it needs to move forward, and releases and brakes when it needs to brake, and then grabs a hold and goes when it needs to. So it's a pretty neat way that works. So we're coming up on Lombard Street. It's probably the most famous street in San Francisco, I would think. It's east-west, and it's steep, 1 block section with like, I want to say like 8 hairpin turns. Not really sure why it was built this way, but it's a big tourist attraction. I've been down once in a vehicle and went down on the bike here. Unfortunately, it was very, very slow, but it's got a great view. That's one thing, and I guess it's pretty beautiful during the right time of the year when all the flowers are bloomed here. But you know, the view coming down is pretty awesome also. Unfortunately, I got off down at the bottom and tried to get some video of what it looks like coming up, or like pointed up the street, but my GoPro quit. The battery died exactly at the bottom of this thing. Luckily enough, I was even able to get the video of coming down Lombard Street, but it didn't get the video of looking back up it. I put a new battery in and thought that I got some video of it, but ends up I didn't. So Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of what it looks like looking back up at it. Maybe I can dig one out of from taking it before, and I'll just throw it in the video. Yeah, so we're just on the south side of the Marina District, headed west. So it's I think the Marina District is, from what I've seen, one of the nicer, cleaner districts. It's on the very north side of San Francisco. Lots of good bars, got a good nightlife. Seems pretty clean as far as not a lot of homeless compared to other areas. Yeah, so we just continue down Lombard Street all the way. We're going to go to the Presidio next. So here we're entering the Presidio. The Presidio was originally, I think, in 1776 when Spain established the Presidio. And then Spain passed it on to Mexico, and Mexico then to the United States in 1848. And back, I think, in 1989, part of the reduction program, the Congress decided that the Presidio status as an active military installation for the U.S. Army would no longer have that status. So it actually became a national park. It was transferred from the government into the National Park Service in 1994. Really neat area. It's got a lot of things to go see and walk through. It's got a huge park in the middle that gets every Sunday. It just has hundreds and hundreds of people there with, I don't know, 50 plus food trucks, music, beer, and people playing on the lawn, bringing all their lawn and beach type furniture and things and setting up for the day. So it's a pretty neat place to go on a Sunday. Elizabeth and I have done it once, and once we kind of went and did that, then we also toured the Walt Disney Museum that's real close, or actually part of it, I think. So all these buildings were part of the U.S. Army's base, and before that, some of them were here or were built for the Spanish built it back in 1776. Presidio area, in that park, there's a lot to do there. The San Francisco National Cemetery is in the park. There's actually the Presidio golf course there. It's a really neat area. You can get down. I think you can go down below the Golden Gate Bridge, Fort Point, some of those areas. So this is a nice little ride out of the Presidio area. We're gonna head over to Golden Gate Park now. So here we're entering Golden Gate Park. It began development in 1871, and it's about 1,017 acres, and it's actually 20% bigger than the Central Park in New York City. So often it's compared to that, and it's quite a bit larger. Golden Gate Park is home to a lot of different things. It's home to the California Academy of Sciences, the Botanical Garden, the DeYoung Museum, all things that I've been to. But there's many more things. They even have polo fields in the park. So it's It's quite large, gives a lot of people a place to go and do things. You can see that traffic gets to be a little bit of a pain inside the park, parking, those sorts of things, but it is a really nice park, and I really enjoy going to the California Academy of Sciences. Down this road is the California Academy of Sciences. Been there many times. One of my favorite museums, or I guess places to go here in San Francisco. They do a lot of things here. They do Thursday night adults only thing, which is really nice. So the Academy of Science is on the right. If you're ever in San Francisco, I do say check that one out. Some of the museums, they're just time consuming, but I would say that this one is well worth the time. Anyways, Thursday night they do adults only, which is really cool. They do a lot of different events, and they got beer set up and wine and everything, and then some food. And it's nice to be there without a bunch of kids, and you can go see all the exhibits. And once a month during the summer, they even have outdoor concerts. And I've been to a couple of those. They had a big Ferris wheel set up here. I don't know what that was for. And there was a lot of people going to it, though. So this, on the opposite side of the Academy of Science, is the DeYoung Museum. I've been in there once, and they have a lot of different exhibits that come through there, but it's just one of those things that's worth going and checking out. So this is Castro district. We're on Castro Street. This is the big area for the LGBT community. LGBT, all the different letters. Very colorful community, human rights, lots of great history here in the human rights portion. So it's worth checking out. Read about it a little bit. But yeah, I lost a lot of GoPro footage between the park and here. I had video of Height Ashbury and that whole area, and I had lots of great video of the ocean. And for whatever reason, the GoPro just stopped recording. It wasn't even dead battery. It just has 8 minutes of just still video. So I made my way all the way across town. Now I'm at that's the University of California SF Medical Center, and what's ahead of us is the new Warriors Arena Chase Center. So we're turning left here down 3rd Street, I believe, and it runs right in front of the Chase Center. I unfortunately just realized that I should have gone straight there and could have seen more of the actual arena. When they built the arena, they built these buildings. All this is Chase development. They built all these buildings as part of adding the marina, which has shopping, obviously offices, and I think there's hotel here. So unfortunately, though, it makes it where you can't see the arena that well from 3rd Street. But that's the new arena there. When they moved the arena, from Oakland, where the Athletics and the Oakland Raiders played before, and they really made it harder to get to those games for us people in the East Bay. So I never went to a game in the new arena. Used to, in the old location, you could take you could take BART right into and just walk to the old arena where the Warriors played and the stadium. So now really all that's gone. The A's still play there. Obviously, the Raiders have moved on to Las Vegas, and really nothing there. But this is the Giants Stadium, AT&T Park. Been to a couple games there. Been out like that sailboat there. I've been out and anchored in that area while games were going on. So that was a lot of fun. It's a neat park. Yeah, it's the Giants, but it is a neat park, and it's worth going and watching a game there, even if you're a diehard A's fan. It's a lot of fun. I've only been to a few ballparks, and this is probably the cleanest, nicest one I've ever been in. Yeah, so that's it for the day. It was a lot of fun coming into the city and touring around. I'd like to do it again. Hopefully I'll get to. I'm really disappointed in the sound. Sorry that this is kind of more production-ish than realistic. And you know, I didn't go to a lot of places. There's a lot of things to show and drive by. But you know, I'm really disappointed in not only the sound, but also the loss of video now that I'm editing this and seeing that I really lost some good stuff. Had a whole group of hoodlums come by on their motorcycles, doing wheelies and burnouts and just having a lot of fun. So I had all that on video. So in 8 minutes, I lost a lot of stuff. Hopefully, maybe I can recover it somehow. But getting back on the Bay Bridge, this is the underneath part going west to east of the double-decker. And then after you pass the island, it is on the new bridge. But I do want to say, if you like history and this kind of moto vlog type of thing, let me know. I can do some other things. But also, there's a YouTuber, Brian636. He's a stunt rider, but he does a series. If you look him up on YouTube, Brian636, he does a series called Hood Eats, where he's in Chicago and he goes to the different neighborhoods and gives you a lot of history of the neighborhoods, their crime statistics, what's gone on in the past, why they are the way they are now. And he always stops in one of those neighborhoods and eats at a different location. So it's a pretty neat thing. I wish I had more time in San Francisco. I could do I could stop and eat in a lot of different locations. It'd be a lot of fun. But check him out. He's really good to watch. I'll put a link down below. If you all like this, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when a new one pops up, and I'll continue making these. I might let this run a little bit longer, get through the bridge, but I'll cut it off so that it's not too long. Super windy. On the bridge, it was super windy. If you watch, you'll probably see the bike get blown around a little bit. But had a lot of fun. Glad I did it. And can't wait to get this out so everybody can see. So until next time, peace out. I'm the one you ride to. If you time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no wonder right to. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna
You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us.